We're going to attempt to clean the dryer output register today. First we're going to put the screen door back on the door. The sun is strong, so we should get a little bit of heat inside for, an hour, more than an hour, probably 2 hours, 2-3 hours. And then we'll have to make sure we close this as soon as the sun goes over the treetops. I need to get back here so I can disconnect the pipe from the dryer. So we're going to have to take off the water feeds. Maybe I'm going to turn on this ceiling fan seriously to have some more light. So these are under a little bit of pressure, so what we can do is we can turn this off, and then we can open the sink, put it in the middle so we have both hot and cold open. Now we'll disconnect this one. And if we get this higher than the sink, it'll all drain out into the sink. Now I can close this valve here, or maybe not. That valve might be the frozen. These are just cheap splitters from the jungle. Who knows? Yeah, that's not going to close anymore. Okay. Oh well. Actually, that spilled more water than I was expecting. Oh well. So we'll just have to kind of prop these up here because I can't shut the thing off like I was hoping to. I don't want to put any stress on the actual plumbing here, but it's just sitting there gently. Okay, we have some wiring here that needs to be there. I guess I can try to pull it back for the time being. Alright, now I can kind of get back here. I'm not sure what this is for. I guess this is just extra from when the pipe was put in. I guess I'll get the vacuum now. We'll clean this up. I got some spare pieces for the kitchen. I think we need a 1/4 inch drive for that hose clamp. Looks like a 5/8. before I get out from behind here, I want to see if this was like this and just went over directly to avoid that bend. How bad is that? That don't look too bad. In this case, we should probably focus on the performance of the duct versus the aesthetics of the duct, even though it is fully visible. Now we want to take off what remains of this curvature, because I'm not going to be able to get the cleaning apparatus through that curvature. There's so much junk everywhere. I've got to clean this place out. This is absolutely ridiculous. That was easy enough. Now we have to get this register off, but for some reason there's two here. There's this thing, which I don't know why we need this. It seems like this just causes more problems than it solves. And then we have the shutter. Something looks kind of funny in there. It's got 4 square bolts. You're kidding. What the heck? The pipe doesn't even go all the way to the end of the thing here, and it's not even centered either. It just never ends around here. Every time you look at something, there's something wrong with it. See, the pipe's not even centered, so half the flow is probably gone. Nor does it go to the end of the... Oh man. Well, this is going to be a lot more complicated than I was expecting. I kind of thought this was going to be simple. But we have to... Well, at least we have extra pipe on hand so we can fix it. So we're gonna have to remove this, extend the pipe, and then put it back, because the way it's configured now is just not correct. Alright, well I guess I'll clean this area over here. There's a stack of pellets in the way, which is kind of inconvenient, but I'll just vacuum out the ceiling so we're not working in cobwebs. We'll disconnect it and try to push it back through correctly. I wish this was some kind of a joke, but this is real. People actually do stuff like this. The fact that it's not even centered in the hole, I think, is what's getting me the most right now. Probably a good 1.5 inches or more of the pipe is cut off. Nobody bothered to vacuum up the shavings after drilling the initial hole. How the heck does this even pass, like, anything? Standards of work? Ethics? Inspections? I don't know if a dryer vent's inspected or not, but I mean, this is just... You can't do much worse of a job than this. Look how off-center it is. It's like an inch plus off. Should have planned to replace this wiring while I was over here. I didn't expect to be tearing apart the whole wall, though. This should be up like that, and it's not. See, it's been leaking. This is all lint, dryer lint here. Wow, this is one for the books. Right. What a mess. Well, somebody should be smacked for this one. Whatever contractor it was that did all this work in this house before it was sold was atrocious. And just when you think you get all the hacks out of the house, you find something like this. Unbelievable. Alright, I've got this new piece of pipe. It's not put together. I'm going to put it together here. I don't really do a lot of sheet metal work, so some of this might take a minute to figure out. There we go. That was fairly easy. So what should have happened, which I guess is some type of rocket science, is it should have gone all the way through the hole. It looks like it's just about the right size. I'll pound it in from the other side. That should make it easier. What a mess. It's all in the siding and everything out here. Well, actually, hold on. This should be... No, that's incorrect. The other pipe should go into this pipe because of the direction of the airflow. So this needs to push in like this with this side first. And it gets stuck, and I bet that's why they gave up. The hole is just a touch small. Well, it's gonna have to go through there somehow. It's not that small, it's just a touch. I bet I can get it if I bang it through or something. It's just... See if I can force it through from the other side. I have to say, whoever drilled the hole was pretty accurate. That hole is exactly the right size. Maybe put a bead of caulk around it, perhaps. But that's it. You don't need anything else. Can't see any light through the gaps in there. Alright, we're starting to damage the pipe, so we'll stop. I'm not sure how much pipe we necessarily need inside, but if we have to cut it on the outside and then extend it, we will. We've got enough in here to make a seal, so that's, I guess that's what's important. I'll fix that with some 9s. Okay, great. So that's in. Now we gotta see how much Actually, no, we don't need any extra because I can reuse this. I can cut this and reuse this. For some reason, this does not want to go up. Oh, I see. I see why it's like that. Unreal. And actually, this is wrong. See how this is going into this? This should not go into this. This should go into this because there's going to be all stuff caught on that lip there. I don't even think I can get this down. How the heck did people get this in? I don't see how on earth that was gotten up there. There's no way it all fit through that hole. No shot. There's no way this can come down because you can't. There's too many of these things. What the heck? Alright, well, we're just going to have to clean it in place. Because of the leakage, it's so dirty. Look at this. Look at this mess. This cost, but I really feel like just tearing the whole thing out and redoing it. This is so ridiculous. I just don't understand how this got up there, because even if this wasn't there, you still can't get it down low enough because there's another one over there, plus there's the beam on the house. That just doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm gonna have to clean it in place. I can't get it out. It's not atrocious in there, but it is. Could definitely use a cleaning. think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a vacuum on the end of the pipe, and then I'll pass the brush through with the vacuum running. Otherwise it's going to make a total mess in here. That's just a summary of this project so far. I got the vacuum set up. I just kind of stuck the hose in the other end of the pipe and I put a towel around it to seal it in place. So hopefully that will work. I want to approximate how many I need to get through to the other side. I don't want to go too far and knock the hose out and then cause another unnecessary freak show at the same time. Come on. This is what it looks like. This is the same apparatus that I use for cleaning the pellet stove pipe. This goes on here like this, and then you put the other end of this into a drill, and you can spin this brush as you pass it through the pipe, and it does a pretty good job. I'll just see what I'm doing this time and outside, give a different view. Up to the drill here, and then we'll turn on the vacuum and see what we can do. Oh yeah, that's gonna be really dusty. Did a good job. This whole thing is all dirty. I gotta clean this whole beam off. Great. That's what you get when you have a leaky dust pipe. Now the last couple inches might still be a little bit dusty because the vacuum stopped it from going all the way. That is the case. You'll be able to see on this side the difference between what was cleaned and what wasn't. That made a considerable difference. Alright, so I'll just clean this side out and we'll be good with the cleaning of this pipe. Alright, the whole pipe is clean. That's all the dust that was in there. That's quite a bit. This was empty when I started. shut off the vacuum. Looks like the power bar tripped out from too much power. The lights are plugged into it as well. Alright, all the pipes are clean now. We'll have to clean the vacuum out, but yeah, that was a lot of dust in there. And then all this fine stuff at the bottom. That's a lot. Now, I don't know if this was ever cleaned prior to me living here. I'm fairly certain that that duct was put in right before I moved in. So this is probably only about 3 years. I'd say this should be done every year or more. Alright, I'm going to take a break for lunch. And then we'll come back and deal with putting it back together. It's not going to go in any further. So I'm going to try to cut it off here. Use some tin snips, and I'll try to open this up and cut it along the seam, which I suppose in a perfect world would have been put on the bottom so it would be easier to access, but that didn't happen. I'm not sure if I can split this apart. I think it's under too much tension. Might have to drill like a little starter hole and then unless I can make it sharp enough to just there. that's the way it's supposed to be. The pipe is supposed to go all the way through, like that. Alright, so that's much better. I don't know if this other thing needs to go back on there or not. I feel like this is extraneous. I guess maybe this helps with making it watertight. I don't know. I guess it probably does help keep some of the water out. Alright, well that's fine. We'll put it back. At least it's clean now. Okay, I have a feeling that was going to be the easy part. Now we got to go inside and deal with the difficult part of reconnecting this duct. I can't see any daylight passing through the outside of that pipe. I think it's tight enough that we're not going to do anything to it. There's no reason to. Okay, now we got to get this closed back up again. So this other pipe here that is already in the ceiling, that pipe needs to go inside this one because that's the way the flow is. I wish I was able to fix that so nicely on the outside. So what I'll do for this other piece is I'll just take the tin snips and cut a couple of slits in it so that we can push it in. We might be able to now, just need a little bit, I gotta do a couple more actually. Alright, now we should be able to kind of fold this in a touch and be able to get it inside the other pipe. Such luck with that. Kind of had a feeling this part wasn't going to be easy, and it's not thus far. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's in there. It's not the greatest, but it's certainly better than it was. I really think I should just get new pipes. Maybe next time I will. I was advised not to use screws on this because the screws will catch the lint. That's an interesting consideration I hadn't thought of, but it makes perfect sense. So I'm not going to put any screws. I'll just put the tape. Which I guess I can just barely get my hand around there to put it down. Yeah, this is an improvement, but the next time I clean this, I will definitely just get new pipe. I can't
like get my big fingers in there to shut this all the way. No, there might be a slight gap here on the top, I can't tell. It's got to be better than it was, even if there is one. Actually, I think I might have got it. If the pipe was correct, it would have had that little wrinkled end that I could just stick in there and make a much cleaner connection. But the pipe is not correct. Okay, that's secured. Now we gotta go place some beams on the other side of the pipe. I think I am going to just do it so that the duct is crooked going down to the dryer. It's not as aesthetically pleasing as the way it was, but it's much better in terms of the airflow. This is not really a high-vis application. I think that we should optimize it for the performance. Now, when I replace the pipes, maybe we'll do something that's a little better. I don't know. We'll have to see when that time comes. But for now, I'm going to do it this way. This piece was originally screwed. There was in fact lint caught on the screw, and now the whole thing is all discombobulated in terms of the shape and doesn't fit properly. Come on, I can only sit like this for another couple seconds here. There we go. Get out of here, I don't want junk behind here. I don't know why this tape has become so difficult to get apart. I guess because the first couple layers weren't wrapped this tight. I don't know. It's got good stickiness to it, I'll give it that much. That should be it for this task. We'll have to come back and clean the machine itself someday, but that's not a task for today. Yeah, enough dryers for the next couple of weeks. It doesn't look as good as it used to, but this should be much better in terms of functionality. Let's see what it feels like. Should have more airflow now, if nothing else, because of the way the duct was before. It sounds different. Oh wow, that's a lot more air than there was before. Yeah. Some remnants here in the register. Oh yeah, big improvement in airflow. That's blasting out of there now. I'm not sure how much of that has to do with the cleanliness of the duct versus the bends versus the duct not being aligned here at the end. I tend to think that duct not being aligned at the end was the biggest contributor. But the ducts, the bends in the ducts certainly could have contributed as well. Alright, well that was a success.